One thing that I like about Milwaukee on the business aspect, as opposed to, let's say, Chicago, my hometown, is that there's a humongous sense of camaraderie here. I love that. Like, Chicago, love you, but it's a cutthroat city. Milwaukee, it's like we all want to see each other thriving, and we all get along with each other. I don't look at the restaurant down the street as competition. Those are my friends.
We encounter a lot of people that are really surprised when they get to Milwaukee. So having our gift shop, we get a lot of people that are here for a Brewers game, here for a Bucks game, here for a conference. They walk in the door and they're like, wow, I had no idea, and then we have no idea what they're going to say next. But often it's, we had no idea Milwaukee had such great historic architecture. We had no idea there were so many great breweries here. We had no idea the downtown had so much going on. So we're really happy to hear that all the time.
As we know through our market research and the conversations we have with everybody from a CEO of a corporation to interns at particular events, walkability, the diversity in ways that people get around, whether it be biking, walking, the future streetcar. I think everyone's really excited about having options. And at the end of the day, how we leverage those options, they build on one another, it just leads to the overall attractiveness of the city.
Public transportation started in Milwaukee in 1860. It was horse-drawn carriage. It was like that for a while.
Bicyclists now find workarounds. We have to find workarounds. Like, what's the least traveled street? You know, where is there wider street? That shouldn't be. It should just be integrated into part of the fabric of Milwaukee. And also, it's pedestrian too. You know, it makes it more pedestrian friendly as well as bike friendly.
One of our primary roles is enforcing parking regulations, of course, throughout the city. And we have a night parking program that requires permits here in the city between 2 to 6 a.m. So historically and in the past, up till 2014, that required a actual stickered permit that our customers put in the windshield, in the back windshield of their vehicle. And you can imagine how fun that is to stick a sticker in the windshield, and then enforcing that, especially in inclement weather conditions where there's snow and foggy windows and it's difficult to see and they peel off because of humidity, and then they get stuck in the machines when people purchase them. That all is just inefficient.
Before LPRs, we had to search for a permit that the citizen put on their vehicles. And sometimes they put them on the back, sometimes they put them on the front, sometimes they put them on the other side. So we had to look for actually permit in order for us to do night parking. And that was kind of a hassle, especially in the winter time, because now we have to brush off snow and look for a permit. So we had to always get out the vehicle just to look for a permit.
Back when I started also, we were issuing citations using handheld ticket devices, but the ticket devices were operating on the 2G network. That was a slow system. It took a while to download parking rights for meters. There were a lot of spots in the city where there were so-called dead zones where we couldn't enforce properly.
I started with the parking meter shop in 2016, and when I had began, there was 2 systems in place. There were multi-space parking systems where you'd get the number from the marker, you walk to the pay station. There was also the original parking meters, which is strictly coin, dime, nickel, quarter application. There's new direction of how things are in the industry. What I started to see is the focus of it's really all customer service. Making the ease of parking, making the ease of finding parking locations the ultimate goal for the citizens. So with that, the city started looking into some of the newer technologies, seeing how that the multi-space is a technology that's aging out. The single space that we had before obviously is obsolete. So now there's this invention of new smart meters. They do everything. You can pay by phone, you can pay by credit card, you can use the app, Park Mobile app. You can, again, use coin. So there's a number of different features that when you use those different applications, it'll push time right to that smart meter.
It's exciting to see so many opportunities being, discussed and on the way, and I'm excited to see the city change.
The reason I think there's so much growth in commercial real estate right now downtown Milwaukee has everything to do with with that one person making the leap, and whether that was the Bucks making the investment downtown or whether it was 833 being developed, the first office building really constructed east of the river in over a decade, is that people saw that it could happen. And they've always kind of said, I want to be downtown, but is it really possible? And then the next person went, and the next person went, and then all of a sudden it's the place to be.
Well, just the construction alone has just been phenomenal the last few years with the Northwestern Mutual Towers and the new apartments and multi-use building and the 330 building and just so many different Germain building restorations and new hotels and things like that. So it's just blossomed in the last 10 years. And I think too, just the population of downtown, I believe there's a little over 80,000 people that work downtown and about 26,000 that live downtown. And so the whole influx of people just clamoring to be downtown, and it's so cliche, but live, work, play downtown. It's just been amazing.
Since our inception, now it's 21 years ago, and I've been very fortunate enough to be part of this organization, we have really seen Milwaukee downtown do a 180 in terms of the quality of life, the energy, the vibrancy, the engagement of people who are on our streets. We're very focused on the number of constituents that we have, our customers that we are here to serve. So it could be people who live here, who work here, who play here, but we also look at it in terms of how people are mobile throughout our downtown. So pedestrians who are walking, it could be mothers with carriages, it could be people with disabilities, it could be elderly individuals, it could be individuals who are bicycling. And so it's really important for us to create a quality of life environment that really enhances the connectiveness and also enhances mobility for our customers who are in downtown Milwaukee.
Bubbler has intentionally co-located 80% of our stations next to a bus stop, and that's for that first and last mile solution. We also introduced an integrated card that is your M card, and on one side, and then on the other side it's the Bubbler reader, so you can take a bike out, so it's called the Bustler. So there is a nod toward integrated transit, making it easy for users.
Currently we're installing the new smart meters that are single space. We're going away from the multi-space. Some of the disadvantages to the multi-space are is the customer actually has to walk to the kiosk to get the payments, and a lot of times they believe that they have to put the marker, let's just say, in their window. That would be one advantage. And then some of the other advantages is if something does happen to a kiosk, the whole block is down. So the advantage of these is if a meter is down, it's only one meter. It might only affect 2 spaces.
Milwaukee's come a long ways in the 15 years that I've been here. Public Works in the city and the mayor's office have been promoting more bikeability, more pedestrian friendly, whether it's Bubbler to enhancements to MCTS with their transit app, to the streetcar investments. Milwaukee's really going a long way.
So a lot of things are changing in Milwaukee when it comes to transit. The Milwaukee County Transit System, our biggest provider of rides, is really modernizing their service. They're going to paying by your phone. They have new fare cards, so you can just wand your card over when you get on the bus. There's real-time data, so you know exactly where the bus is and when it's going to get there. And then there's things like Bubbler Bikes, the bike sharing system that's coming online, and now the potential of dockless bike share coming to Milwaukee.
I've definitely had my time on Bubbler Bikes, Uber, Lyft, and of course the parking solutions have been awesome. Getting around town and finding somewhere to park. You don't have any coins, you can just jump into the app and you have your car automatically loaded up inside the app. So that's made it very easier for people to get around and find a place to park and access to different buildings and things to do downtown.
We want to create the best scenario for options for people, not only for where they can park, but all the other options for how they can access it, if that be via walking or biking or whatever type of mode of transportation, public transportation, a streetcar or a bus. We just want people to know there are options. We want to provide access. We want to allow them all the opportunity to be part of all the wonderful things that are going on in our city.
Obviously, working for a national firm, we see that trend throughout the country. Cities trying to be smarter about how moving people throughout their communities. Milwaukee is absolutely at the cusp of that process. The city's definitely looking at technology to move it forward.
I'm really excited about the momentum that we're building in downtown Milwaukee. When you see more smart city evolution and you see this philosophy around complete streets that really engages everybody and provides a safe place and a vibrant place for everybody who lives and works and plays in downtown Milwaukee, and the conversations that are going on, we've become a magnet for innovation and for technology. And as we can continue to compete for world talent, all of these investments are definitely going to have a strong ROI for us. So we love the collaboration that is happening with outside vendors, with our city departments, with our other community-based organizations, and with the business community. And we really believe that that momentum and that energy is really going to launch us into that next chapter where Milwaukee is going to be even more competitive than we are today.
Again, I think long term it's going to be a really phenomenal, we'll be kind of like 21st century city like Minneapolis and Seattle and Portland and Denver and things like that. And I think we need to put ourselves in that.
As far as the city of Milwaukee, right, they're doing a lot of interesting things. I just saw the Complete Streets thing. If we can get people out of their cars and we can get people onto public transit or just public transportation, whether it's MCTS or Butler Bikes, rideshare, things that will lower congestion, make cities more livable, make cities more walkable. That benefits all of us. I live in this community, and it benefits MCTS.
Latest technology is the brains on the bike, where you don't need the stations. You have everything on the bike, and we will probably be looking at that next year. I'm imagining we'll get a few of those out in that next round that we're going to put out.
I think for us, the next big thing is evolving with parking industry and the transportation industry to encourage mobility for customers.
Down the road, trends will be where we could identify parking spaces for the parkers of the city, and they can go on and say, oh, there's a spot around the corner, but that's future technologies.
This is the place to be right now. In 10 years, it's just going to be a dream and unimaginable.
Call me a hopeless romantic, but I'm really hopeful for the future of Milwaukee. MKE United, I think, is a great example. I've only been here 8 years, but I've never seen a larger collection of people working across all boundaries, whether they be existential or whether they be geographic, working together for the future of this city.
It's just a matter of time before people wake up and realize how much of a hidden gem, we've all been able to, experience.